Good morning, everybody. So I was sitting kind of quietly in the park this morning, somewhat meditating, and I noticed the kind of sound, some kind of faint, distant kind of sound. I'm not even sure if I could hear it. It's almost like I could hear the calling of the sound. It was like a call that would become a sound. However, it's something like a sound, a faint sound, calling no one. And it kind of struck me. To hear this very faint call, in some sense, the pre-sound, the call of the pre-sound, or the too far away as yet sound. Calling no one. And then I had this series of contentless thoughts, if you will. Whatever those are. Of if one could actually respond and hear the call sounding to no one, right? In some sense, this one who would respond to this call to no one would, in hearing it, in responding, in hearing this call to no one, in some sense, to hear it, would, in hearing it, must become no one. Someone must be no one enough to hear the sound calling to no one. And I thought, what is it to become no one? And then it occurred to me, I may have a sense of no one. Particularly right now, my wife and I apparently have a quote, someone growing in my wife's belly. Some other someone said about this no one, in fact they took pictures of this no one, and this no one getting more and more articulated with every picture that's being taken at the doctor's office. So in other words, my wife is going on 5 months pregnant. And it struck me, I've had a vague thought about what does it mean to have a child on the way? I mean, I've had children on the way. I have kids. So I've kind of gone through this, and I feel no more I no more have the answer to that than it feels like if I had like 20 kids or something, right? There's something almost unthinkable about it. But I'm wondering, right? In some sense, like that no one, that someone who responds to the calling to no one, must become a no one in hearing the call. must become someone who could hear the call, which is becoming no one. In some sense, I would imagine my thoughts from the perspective of the no one in the mother's belly. My thoughts about this no one, my wife's thoughts about this no one, the wife itself, the husband itself, the family itself, the country itself, the they, thems, I's, thous, the worlding world, that thing, whatever that is. Maybe making sounds that is something like, from the baby's perspective, hearing the sound of someone, a call. In some sense, what would it be to be a no one? Hearing the call to someone. Well, if this no one were to hear this call, to hear the call is to be no one responding to this faint sound, pre-sound perhaps. And in being addressed by this call to someone, no one, in some strange, uncanny sense, probably in responding and in listening, finds themselves someone who could hear the call to themselves. So anyways, good morning.